Does filmmaking always have to be fun for you? I mean, you had said about the Facebook group that the filmmakers were saying, you know, what about when we were kids and we were creative and free? But then you start to do something after a while, and then the stakes rise, and then sometimes the fun can be squeezed out of it. How do you keep it fun?
Well, that's kind of hard because, you know, we're adults and we do have responsibilities now and things are tougher. For us, probably fun is when we shoot things, you know. Sometimes it could be in editing. There are moments when that happens and it's spontaneous. We do try to keep it fun, but, you know, and sometimes that doesn't depend on you because you have collaborators and they can just sometimes drag everything down, or they're not fun, or they have bad attitudes, or, you know, it's not 100% up to you. You do try to start the project always with a great attitude and try to get people with cool attitudes, but, you know, you never know. Everything is different, everybody's different, or people's personalities changed. You have the same collaborators working with you from your previous project, but all of a sudden, they're not the same people anymore. There's something changed to them. So, you know, for us, it's we do try to have fun, and we do try to sometimes from a concept or on set, but probably what's for us always what we do, like if you had like a tough day and you're like, what am I doing this? What am I putting myself through this? We always watch movies. So at night we watch a movie, and you had a very tough day when you kind of want to give up everything and never touch a camera in your life, and you watch a great movie that, you know, you just discovered that night, and you're like, well, yeah, that's what I'm doing because I love movies. And that gives you the energy to wake up next day and continue despite the jerk you dealt with yesterday, or somebody who you might have to fire, even if that's not why you make movies, or different situations that you have that, you know, come up when you make movies, because, yeah, it's not always fun anymore. You're not in film school, you're not with your friends making movies anymore. So you deal with different personalities and budgetary restrictions, and you can't always hire all the right people that you want, or things can happen all the time. So yeah, it's not fun with paperwork and, you know, all that.
I was watching In a Lonely Place with Humphrey Bogart, and it seems like nothing's really changed since then. I mean, in terms of just, you know, well, what's she done? Oh, a few indie films, you know, it was like, nothing has really changed in terms of just how people were sort of reacting to him and, you know, his process as a screenwriter, and I just found that interesting. You know.
Yeah, look, it's tough. I'm not saying it's always easy, because it's not. It's tough, and you kind of have to have almost like a helmet built around you to keep going. But probably that helmet is the passion that you have for movies, and what they were talking in that Facebook group, it's true. It's a passion you had when you were, you know, when you first started out, or you decided that's what you want to do, that has to still be somewhere inside you that carries you through all the struggles that you have all the time. Because, you know, you're gonna have struggles no matter how many movies you're making, you know. Like sometimes I always think of, okay, what didn't work well on the last movie, and I'm trying to prevent that type of situation on the next one. Well, something else will happen that will go bad that you have to deal with and fix and still finish your movie. So it's very unpredictable. There's so many things you can't control as much as you try to prepare things well. But what carries you through all this, or what carries me, I should say, and Brett, because I can speak for him too, is the love for movies and what you do. And sometimes just the creative process could be fun, or sometimes somebody sends you over the trailer of your movie, and that's what, you know, you were hoping for, and that makes your day. And little moments like that totally make it worth it. Or sometimes having your movie selected to a festival that you didn't necessarily even apply. They just want your movie because they liked your previous one, and you get the email and you're like, oh, that's great. That makes my day, or that makes certain things that you're dealing with worth it.
How much thought do you put into the trailer in terms of knowing that you're going to have people see it, potentially distributors? I don't know if you enter festivals as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do festivals. Trailer is very important, and we used to literally create a script for that. Nowadays, we're working with an editor that is very film savvy, and we have a great report with. So we kind of let him contribute more, and we stop to the script, you know. But we work with him on the trailer, and he gets a lot of the ideas that we want to put out there. So we work with him, and it's fun. But it's tough to trailer, for example, the anthologies that we're doing, because in a feature it's easier. You have the whole story, and you just kind of think of how you want to create and what you want to put out there. But here you have different segments or different stories, so it's more challenging in terms of creating a trailer for that, because you want to represent all the segments, but you have to create a story out of that and make it fun for the fans and put some cool imagery out there. So it's a challenge, but for us, that's fun. And especially since we work with somebody who gets it and it's fun to work with, it's fun. It's one of the parts of the process we like a lot.
What are some common mistakes you see filmmakers do with trailers? Like once you see the film, you're like, this is actually a brilliant film, but the trailer didn't sell it for me.
Well, not to give you a different answer that your question, sometimes what I think it's wrong was people shooting trailers and putting a lot of money into that for movies that don't exist just to get the movie off the ground. That's not, I think, a good way to get a movie off the ground. Also, what I think is a trailer shouldn't be long. Sometimes people kind of have very long trailers with a lot of dialogue scenes. That's another mistake. I think it should be fast. It should show some cool imagery and cool lines from your movie, but it should go fast. It should have a cool little story, or even if it's not the story of your movie, it's okay. Don't reveal everything, but show something there so people can get an idea of what the movie is about. I mean, I don't think you should misrepresent your movie. I think what you get through the trailer, it kind of should be what your movie is. And, of course, you don't want to reveal everything. We never want to reveal everything, especially endings, things like that. We try to stay away from that. Some people choose to do that, and that's fine. It's their choice, but we don't like to do that.
What about revealing things in the actual movie? How much of it do you want the audience to see, and how much do you want hidden? So is the audience going to know more than the character will in most of your films?
It depends on the movie. It depends on the movie. Most of the time, we kind of like the audience to discover things while the character does. So they are kind of more in suspense and kind of guessing things while things are happening, and be more involved that way.